Hey guys, this is Josh from activetours.com, and today I'm going to show you the 17 things to do in Joshua Tree, California. Stick around to the end of the video for Joshua Tree tips, including where to find water and what to do when there's no campgrounds. First on the list is to visit Arch Rock. Arch Rock Nature Trail is a short 0.37-mile loop that takes you to one of the most famous rock formations in all of Joshua Tree National Park. This trail starts in the White Tank Campground, which is not a campground that I recommend due to all the people coming to see the arch. If you come at sunset, the sun will cast some reddish hues on the rock, and it makes for some wonderful photographs, so you gotta check that out. Also, be sure to check out some of the boulders surrounding the arch. It's really fun to scramble on them, and if this is your first stop, you definitely have to do some scrambling. Don't expect this arch to be as massive as the ones in Utah, but this rock formation is a worthy first stop on this list. The next stop I would make is the Barker Dam Trail. This 1.1-mile hike in Joshua Tree National Park is the most popular hike in the park, for really good reasons. Seriously, if you had 1 hour to spend in Joshua Tree, this trail would be it. It has almost everything you're looking for in a Joshua Tree trip. It's got a beautiful trail system, wonderful trees and cactus, giant boulders to climb on almost everywhere on the trail. And of course, the highlight of this trail, the Barker Dam. Now, if you're lucky enough to come in the winter or the spring, there's probably going to be water in that reservoir, which attracts a lot of birds and other animals. If you're into photography, this is a great place to do some reflective photography when the waters are still, so it's best to go in the morning. If you're up for a workout, the Ryan Mountain Trail is a great opportunity for sweeping 360-degree views of Joshua Tree National Park. This strenuous out-and-back 3-mile trail leads you directly up Ryan Mountain. You gain over 1,000 feet of elevation, and there's no trees along the way for shade. This trail hikes up the north face of Ryan Mountain, so if you're in Joshua Tree in the summer, start early and you'll have shade for most of the hike. Conversely, if it's winter and it's freezing outside, you probably want to go later in the afternoon. At the top, you'll see panoramic views of Pinto Basin, Lost Horse Valley, Queen Valley, and Pleasant Valley, as well as a view of San Gorgonio, the tallest peak in Southern California. Even when the summit is packed, there's always a place for you to find a little bit of solitude at the top of the mountain. For me, the hardest part is hiking down the trail. Remember to bring walking sticks, and take as many breaks as you did on the way up. Number 4 is Keys View. Keys View is an iconic lookout in Joshua Tree National Park, and if you're really not up for hiking, this shoots right to the top of your list. This view is a fantastic vista that rests on top of the Little San Bernardino Mountains and provides sweeping views of the Salton Sea, San Andreas Fault, Coachella Valley, San Jacinto, and San Gorgonio Mountains. This place is great for sunrise or sunset, but beware of the parking. Everyone comes to Keys View at sunset. Arrive early to avoid the half-hour wait. Also, be sure to bring a jacket. It's always windy here. Next up is my favorite activity in Joshua Tree, rock climbing. If you're into rock climbing, this shoots to the very top of your list. It is one of the rock climbing meccas of the world. And as you can see, lots of people are here climbing. If you look around, almost every boulder has someone on the top. Joshua Tree offers many different kinds of climbing. There's trad climbing, sport climbing, bouldering, and you start at the bottom, work your way up, just like with anything. So if this is your first time, don't worry about it. There's plenty of guides to help you, and I put together a list of all the authorized guides here in Joshua Tree. So check out my blog. Otherwise, just go out and have fun, scramble around on the rocks. Just be sure to be safe. Have a climbing partner. Number 6 on this list is the Cholla Cactus Gardens. This flat loop leads you through the nearly 10 acres of Cholla cactus. This cactus has been nicknamed the teddy bear cactus, but it's one teddy bear you don't want to hug. The thorns are vicious. One actually blew into my jacket and stuck into me. I was told that it rains in the mountains behind, and then the water collects in this valley, which makes these cactus so abundant. The next stop on the list is the Wall Street Mill Trail. The Wall Street Mill Trail is located near the Wonderland of Rocks in Joshua Tree, California. It is considered the best preserved gold mine in Joshua Tree. The 2.2-mile round-trip hike starts at the Barker Dam trailhead, or you can save about 0.6 miles and park on the unpaved Queen Valley Road. Before becoming Joshua Tree National Park, this area was scattered with miners on the hunt for gold and silver. When ore was mined, it was sent to the mill to be crushed. The surrounding area has a bunch of old cars, a windmill, and even a gravestone if you can find it. Next up is the very popular Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is one of my favorite places in all of Joshua Tree. With its giant boulders, 1-mile nature loop, fantastic campground, and rock climbing everywhere you can look, it's one of the most iconic places in Joshua Tree. In 1936, desert pioneer Bill Keyes blasted a notch through the rocks to improve the access for cattle. And today, that acts as the main access point of Hidden Valley. Number 9 on the list is the Chasm of Doom. The Chasm of Doom is a scramble, squeeze, crawl, and climb inside a granite maze amongst giant boulders, located just off of the Hidden Valley parking lot. This secret set of tunnels and passageways is not for the faint of heart or the claustrophobic, and requires you to be comfortable climbing, scrambling, and bouldering in the dark. Please use extreme caution. It's really difficult to find your way here, so you may want to wait at the entrance for someone who knows where they're going. The cave, known as the birth canal, is an example of how tight and claustrophobic it is down here, so definitely go with someone. So once you make it through the cave system, the views at the top are amazing. Remember, when you get up there, the down climb is just as hard, so if you find a place that you want to turn back, turn back. Next is my favorite nighttime activity in Joshua Tree, stargazing. Living in Los Angeles, it's really difficult for us to see the stars. So going out to Joshua Tree and stargazing is one of my favorite activities. Night photography is really fun in Joshua Tree with all of the trees and boulders. Some of my favorite spots are Hidden Valley, Arch Rock, and Jumbo Rocks. Number 11 is Keys Ranch. Keys Ranch is a prime example of early settlement in Joshua Tree. I wasn't able to visit on this trip due to the government shutdown. If you do want to visit Keys Ranch, you'll have to visit with a national park tour guide. Tickets are $10 and are available in advance. Tours are typically only held from October through May. This 25-person tour is 90 minutes in length and goes about a half a mile. Next is one of the best preserved mines in all of Joshua Tree, the Lost Horse Mine. The Lost Horse Mine can be reached by either a 6.5-mile loop or a 4-mile out and back trail. Like many of the trails in Joshua Tree, this one's exposed to full sun, so make sure you bring a hat, sunscreen, and plenty of water. The trail is mostly flat until you reach the mine, and then it's a slight incline. I found it fascinating to walk around the mine and look at all the mechanical parts. It's also pretty interesting that most of the mines in Joshua Tree weren't very productive, although this one was. It produced over 10,000 ounces of gold and over 16 ounces of silver. In today's prices, that would be over $12 million. When I hike here, I generally just do the out and back trail because there's so much to see in Joshua Tree. If you have a 4-wheel drive car, check out Geology Road. This 18-mile motor tour leads through one of Joshua Tree National Park's most fascinating landscapes. There are 16 stops along the dirt road that takes approximately 2 hours to make the round trip. I really like driving on this road just because it reminds me of what it would be back in the old days. They recommend that you use a 4-wheel drive car, although I'm using a Prius, don't tell anyone. Next on the list is Skull Rock and Jumbo Rocks. This rock feature is located just off of the road, but if you have time, I like to start in Jumbo Rocks Campground, which is my favorite campground in Joshua Tree, and hike and scramble my way to Skull Rock. The hike is super short. It's a 1-mile out and back trail, or you can do a 1.7-mile loop. So like I said, you can park on the side of the road here and just walk in. To get those really cool shadows of the skull, you'll want to come in the afternoon. Tucked away on the northeast side of Joshua Tree is 49 Palms Oasis Trail. This out and back 3-mile trail provides nice views of the surrounding desert before descending into an oasis of palm trees. The spring at the end of the trail gives life to these trees. I recommend starting this trail in the morning because of full sun exposure. Also, there's about a 600 feet elevation gain both ways. Number 16 on the list is the Hall of Horrors. The Hall of Horrors is a very popular rock climbing destination, so you'll likely see a lot of people climbing out here. I didn't get a chance to on this trip, but there are some pretty cool cracks in this area that you can shimmy through. I'll leave a link in the description so you can find it. Okay guys, number 17 is Split Rock. I always find these rock formations super fascinating. I always wonder what happened the day that the rock split. You know, what was the weather like? What was the temperature? What happened exactly to cause this split? As you can see, I like to climb inside and play around. There's also some pretty cool views of the back, and then it's also a part of a trail that's about 1.9 miles. Okay, so as promised, here's some camping tips. There's BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management land, on the north and the south entrances. And if you can't find camping inside the park, you can camp here for free. There's no fires allowed, there's no services like water or bathrooms, but you can just park and camp. So it's pretty cool that they offer that. Be prepared to bring in all your own food and water. There's no facilities inside the park. And there's no electricity, and the only cell reception I've found is on Ryan Mountain and at Keys View. Also, all of the bathrooms are pit toilets, so no flushing toilets unless you're at the visitor center. Thanks for joining me on this tour of Joshua Tree National Park. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button and comment below if you have tips and places in Joshua Tree that you would like to share. For a full blog post, go to activetours.com.